Alrighty, good morning, whale watchers. If we can get everybody to gather around right over here for just a few minutes, please. Just want to introduce myself. Good morning, my name is Michael. I am also one of your naturalists on board the Salty Lady today. So in just a moment, we're going to be heading down to board the vessel. What I want to recommend is that you leave your expectations right here on the dock. They will be here waiting for you when you get back, and just enjoy the trip. When I'm working for the Oceanic Society on the Salty Lady, which is the boat that we take out to the islands, my job is to connect the passengers that have come on this excursion with the resources that are available. That's the environment and the incredible wildlife. Is really important because it helps build a connection between that passenger and these environments and the amazing creatures that call them home. Got one up ahead, 11 o'clock. I think I recognize this whale. That's Gator over there. So I recognize that one. I don't even need to look him up. You'll notice it kind of had a little bit of damage to the dorsal fin. That's how I know that individual whale. Spout from Gator. Oh my goodness. And when somebody has a connection with the wild, with these wild places, they're more likely to do something to help protect it. And that's the most important aspect, I think, of what I do on the boats. So before I moved to San Francisco, I, oddly enough, had never heard about the Farallones. Once I started learning about them, I couldn't learn enough. They kind of became a bit of an infatuation for me. It's a really magical experience being out there, because when you're there, you can find yourself looking at a blue-footed booby or a brown booby standing on a rock right next to a tufted puffin, which are two species that should never see each other. But then you get the oddballs, the visitors, the individuals like Morris. Because he's very rare, he's the only member of his species in the entire Pacific Ocean. It's called a northern gannet. It's a large white bird with kind of a yellow tinted head and black wingtips. So they're an Atlantic species, and he, due to climate change, kind of got lost up in the Arctic and then came down the wrong coast. When he disappeared this year, it was right after some pretty severe winter storms that we had had, and it's well within the realm of possibility that maybe the storms had gotten the better of him. So be on the lookout. We really want to find Morris today. He's my favorite. I'm relatively certain he's there. Right in there. Okay, I'll take a fantastic. Thank you, sir. All right, so I think I've spotted the gannet. I think we have Morris today. So we're gonna get a little bit closer and see if that white blob is our gannet, my favorite bird on the islands. I definitely feel that connection with him, being so far from the place that I grew up, the place that I knew as home, until being here and realizing that this is a place that I feel comfortable at and that I can build a home in. And that's really what I've done here, very similar to what Morris has done. Wasn't him. It was a different big white bird, just a gull kind of presenting its chest. I'm gonna keep scanning though. Thought I saw him, but it was just a gull that was kind of really broadside. But he's not here today. We're not going out on the boat today because the wind was too extreme. The trip got canceled. We're definitely not going to be out. So I think we're just going to kind of go along the coast and hit some locations where he's been seen. My father was never really in the picture. He was gone by the time I was 3 or 4. So my mother pretty much raised my sister and I by herself. And when I did come out to her, it was a very negative reaction. It was one of disappointment. It was one of shame, where I was being told that there was something wrong with me and that there was a way to change that. Just gonna scan the seabird colonies across the way. It's mostly Brandt's cormorants over there, but he should stand out. Yeah, I don't see him over there. We'll head up the coast and see if we can locate him at one of the other locations. We've got quite a few sightings of him on the seawall right in Half Moon Bay in the harbor there. So let's head there. She was forcing me to go to these church-sanctioned therapy sessions to tell me that I could essentially pray enough that I could stop being gay. These sessions were really emotionally tumultuous. They made me feel like there was something wrong with me, and eventually kind of my own personality, my own sense of self overcame that. And when I told my mother that I would not be going to these torture sessions any longer, that was when she told me I was no longer welcome in our family's home. It became evident that it was better to just let that relationship go and just accept that my mother was not going to be part of my life any longer. All right, I've pretty well scanned the rocks. I've got lots of bird life. I'm not seeing Morris. I don't think we have the gannet here. Hopefully we will have better luck next time we're on the boat out at the islands. You know, while you do grieve the loss of a relationship like that, it would, you know, everybody goes through it at some point, whether they go through a situation like I did or whether their parent passes away. Eventually we all have to mourn the loss of that relationship. I just had to do it very early on and for a very specific reason. And I wouldn't be who I am today if I hadn't had those experiences. And I like who I am today. Once we get out to the islands, I'm especially going to be on the lookout for one of the bird species that's really not supposed to be there. So we're going to be looking for a northern gannet. In its home range, he would be surrounded by tens of thousands, up to hundreds of thousands of his own species. And we really want to be on the lookout for him because it's a lot of island, it's a lot of birds, and we're looking for one single individual. So we all want to work together to try and find him.
You can stand by a minute. I could probably find that.
No rush if you got it though.
Also, can we ask
Yeah,
if
copy that.
they've seen the gannet recently?
For you. I can try to relay to her. But yeah, we have. In short, we've got a lot right now. They're really spilling up everywhere.
He had one other question. If you've seen have you guys seen the gannet recently?
Yeah, we haven't actually seen the gannet very recently. He might be hanging out around on Main Top on a side that we can't really see.
I think if he had succumbed to these storms, his absence would be felt. It would be a piece of the island that was so important to me that was now missing. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Much appreciated.
So we've got some northern fur seals. You're gonna be looking for the ones that have the really mousy, kind of pointy muzzle with the really long whiskers and kind of exaggeratedly long ear flaps. So these fur seals, they're probably gonna come up and investigate. They get really curious and they'll come up to the boat. They are bitey little turds though. All right, yeah, do it. Look at this, that's so cool. That kind of what looked like a kiss between them, it's called a breath exchange. And that's similar to with dogs when they sniff each other's butts. Hi, buddy. So playful. Yeah, there's the gannet. We have the gannet. Big white bird, black wingtips. That is Morris. All right, flying to the right. Big white bird. Where is he going? Yep, turning. Hopefully he'll come back in. Where'd he go? There he is, yep. He's coming back around. Coming right towards us. We may actually get some really good views of him here. Circling back around. It looks like he's gonna land. On the islands right now. Let me try and get a couple of photos of him here. Ah, that was great. I'm so excited we got to see Morris today. Thank you, Nate. You made my day. Having built this emotional connection on my part to Morris, it's always very exciting and a bit of a relief when we do get to see him. It's always really special. I owe you a beer later.
Okay. Take that.